Probably gonna add me to the spectators though. I don't know. Just listen to the music for now, presumably. They asked me if I was if I was a streamer. So I said yes. Then they asked me if I was a streamer again. That was amusing. T72, could you fuck off please? Thank you. Right. It'd be better if I just what's the term? If I just reply to everyone via text and everything. It'd be far easier. I gotta fix my stream actually, put it on a 2-minute voice recording. It's gonna take a while, I guess. They haven't even started coming in. Well, they've started coming in soon. But, yeah. Group K, I need to edit the stream as well. I need to put in 2-minute delay, Group K. The thing is, there might even be like a 15-minute wait between Games. So there might be like a 15-minute game, then a 15-minute wait between games, and if there is, I'm literally gonna blow up or something. I mean, I haven't even put my stream up. I haven't even announced my stream yet on any of the Discords or even Twitter because the games haven't come up yet. Are you a streamer? Yes. Yes, I am. Ugh. You don't see the name of the team in the right opportunities, you don't know if they're on a good run. Group K. I was just inside tank in the dark. Yeah, time well spent. I just sat around. I wanted to watch The Man in the High Castle, but then I realised that considering I have the music so loud, well, the sound up so loud, that it would have been a false hope, as I would have basically ignored people. By the way, it was supposed to start about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, might be a bit of waiting. I would say grab yourself a coffee or something, because Dorothy, Kansas this time is taking a while to happen. Got my brush as well. Oh, it's down there. Give me a minute. God almighty. I don't even know who's in here. Actually, I don't really know much about the tournament to begin with. Dane just approached me like, "Hey, can you do a tournament?" I was like, "Okay." And here I am. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So, community events and tournaments. Let's see. So, this is the one. Tier 9, no premium tanks. GLOPS custom match starts at 6 o'clock Central European time, which is 50 minutes ago, and it ends at midnight. GLOPS custom match, tier 9. Your guess is as good as mine for as long as this is going to take, really. Just saying. I would definitely say come back in like 15 minutes or so, because this is how long it might need to take. Cash on delivery. Yeah, I guess that'll work. I'll spring into life when the game starts. For now, it's kind of like watching a lethargic ginger person attempt to do something interesting, and trust me, I'm not that interested. Hair's kind of in the way to them. Ah, shit, I forgot I gotta check if the sound's actually working. If it isn't, I'm gonna be pissed. The last time I did a tournament, I did an entire game without the sound on. The one. Tier 9, no premium tanks, GLOPS custom match. Okay, the sound works. That's good. We could do a joint book reading session. Just saying. Is there any okay, that's not filled out at all. It's got basically, okay, there's no events. There's no GLOPS events either. I mean, this here is how I'm supposed to be covering, so Hype, BPE, Tanking Along, and Panzerjäger Battalion. But also in this, who we're going to be here is GDR, Bad, Gur Fighters, and Drud's team just for fun. We also have Onimus Pipe, Nasty One, CSSC, Havoc, CSGW, Happy Devils, Natural Born Killers, and MHT. Last we have Yakuza, Duds 1 Die Noobs, Nasty 2 and Regiment. Then we have Divine Intervention, DPA, VPA, Valishki 1 Love, then Defo Glory, whatever that's supposed to mean, Galkin, Day, The Wicked Hair, Slowpoke, sorry, Zibnik PL, I think. Don't kill me on my Polish, I can't speak Polish. The Play, 22, NFS, DCS Barben, Team Cobra, Ardor, Viking, Blast, Black Flag, Hyper, 1137, Elite Crew, K4E.
Hey, wake up!
Oh, Jesus Christ, hello. And so far I literally have zero idea what's happening today. Sound is coming in clearly through the stream. Thanks, Janet. If the game never sets up, you've got nice boobs to play with. My boobs aren't that great, just saying. Or just sit here and go on the stream like, ah! One way to get viewers, I guess. I mean, I've had my bra on since like 11 o'clock, so I went to lunch. We've got a 2-minute delay, so I don't know, book reading. Let's see, genetics for dummies. The Discord link hasn't even been done yet, to be honest. Let's see. Contents at a glance. Oh. We have more about this book, conventions used in this book, what you're not to read, foolish assumptions, how this book is organised. Right, let's just skip to what this book is actually about. This is me right now. I am reading a book. Genetics affects all living things. Although sometimes complicated and always diverse, all genetics come down to basic principles of hereditary. How traits are passed from one generation to next and how DNA is put together. As science, genetics is a fast-growing field because of its untapped potential, for good and for bad. Despite its complexity, genetics can be surprisingly accessible. Genetics is a bit like peeking behind a movie's special effects to find a deceptively simple and elegant system running the whole show. Genetics is the field of science that examines how traits are passed from one generation to the next. Simply put, genetics affects everything about every living thing on Earth. An organism's genes, snippets of DNA that are the fundamental units of hereditary, control how the organism looks, behaves and reproduces. Because all biology depends on genes, understanding genetics as a foundation for all life sciences, including agriculture and medicine, is critical. From a historical point of view, genetics is still a young science. The principles that govern inheritance of traits by one generation from another were described and promptly lost less than 150 years ago. Around the turn of the 20th century, the laws of inheritance were rediscovered. An event that transformed biology forever. But even then, the importance of the star of the genetics show, DNA, wasn't really understood until the 1950s. Jesus, that's only 67 years ago, 68. Now, technology is helping genetics push the envelope of knowledge every day. Genetics is generally divided into 4 major subdivisions: classical or Mendelian genetics, a discipline that describes how physical characteristics, aka traits, are passed from one generation to another. Molecular genetics are the study of the chemical and the physical structures of DNA, its close cousin RNA and proteins. Molecular genetics also covers how genes do their jobs. Population genetics are a division of genetics that looks at the genetic makeup of larger groups, and I don't think any of the teams have actually showed yet. Quantitative genetics are a highly mathematical field that examines the statistical relationships between genes and the traits they encode. In the academic world, many genetic courses begin with classical genetics and proceed through molecular genetics, with a nod to population, evolutionary, or quantitative genetics. This book follows the same path. Because each division of knowledgeable builds on the one before it. That said, it's perfectly okay and very easy to jump around among disciplines, no matter how you take on reading this book. I provide lots of cross-references to help you stay on track. Classic genetics, transmitting traits from one generation to another. I could fall asleep reading this, in fact I probably will. At its heart, classical genetics is the genetics of individuals and their families. It focuses mostly on studying physical traits or phenotypes as a stand-in for the genes that control appearance. Gregor Mendel, a humble monk and part-time scientist, founded the entire discipline of genetics. Mendel was a gardener, green thumb, with an insatiable curiosity to go along with his green thumb. Wow, I predicted it. His observations may have been simple, but his conclusions were jaw-droppingly elegant. This man had no access to technology, computers, or a pocket calculator, yet he determined with keen accuracy exactly how inheritance works. Classical genetics is sometimes referred to as Mendelian genetics, transmission genetics. No matter what you call it, classical genetics includes the study of cells and chromosomes, which I delve into chapter 2. Thanks. Cell division is the machine that drives inheritance, but you don't have to understand combustion engines to drive a car yet, although it does help. Likewise, you can drive straight into simple inheritance and work up to more complicated forms of inheritance without knowing anything whatsoever about cell divisions. I don't. The genetics of sex and reproduction are also part of classical genetics. Various combinations of genes and chromosomes determine sex as in maleness and femaleness, but the subject of sex gets even more complicated and interesting. The environment plays a role in determining the sex of some organisms like crocodiles and turtles, and other organisms can even change sex with a change of address. If I've piqued your interest, you can find out all the slightly kinky details in chapter 5. Fuck, let's go to chapter details. Where's chapter 5? Oh, sex. I'm literally streaming genetics. Is this happening at all? Have you... Differences matter. The genetics of sex. Sex is a term with so many meanings. For geneticists, sex usually refers to two related concepts: the phenotype of sex and reproduction. It's hard to underestimate the importance of sex when it comes to genetics. Sex influences the inheritance of Jesus Christ.
Hey, wake up. Channel switched.
Hey V.
Hello, hello.
Just saying, I have one person in my public game, and so far, I've been reading to my stream my homework. I'm literally reading Genetics for Dummies to my stream because I've been waiting for half an hour for a game, and
oh my god!
And I've been on this TeamSpeak for 3 hours.
It's alright. It's one of those things. It happens. Apparently, the other teams have just not materialized yet. We're still waiting. All of our team members are in the custom match room. Our hosts have been kind enough to put us in the room as well, and we're waiting. We're basically waiting.
Yes.
I'm doing Group K. I mean, I actually didn't see you guys, otherwise I would have been covering Group E right now.
No worries at all. No worries. We're so glad at least you're covering this as well. We're so glad. 2, 3.
Always a diplomat in UV.
Oh, I try to be as diplomatic as possible. As diplomatic as possible. A lot of activity lately, eh?
Mm-hmm. I'm actually doing a degree now at university.
Oh my god. I've missed so many things that have taken place actually. So many things.
How have you been?
Alright, running up and down as usual. Kids growing up and everything. Running around with the community and stuff. Running up and down. I have a few plans for the future regarding armored warfare. We've been quite active lately as well. Everybody keeps asking when are we gonna have another one of those feedback sessions. A lot is to be transferred.
I can't wait for the bitching, but probably when the next contact patch drops, or maybe in a few weeks, I'm not sure. At the moment, everybody at MyCon, well, I mean the actual employees, are heavily overstretched, so getting anybody is going to be a chore.
That overstretched?
Mm.
Wow. I mean, I do know Peligro's, well, up to his neck with different things on Armored Warfare and different games from my.com, but...
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
User joined your channel.
Okay, we will wait additional 5 minutes.
User joined your channel.
Ja.
Divine Intervention kann zu Inside Tank gehen, zu WPE Escobar.
Okay,
Der macht gerade einen Raum auf.
Welche Gruppe war das?
K.
Okay, alles klar. Sorry, guys. So we will create new groups. In this case, you will join Group K and play against BBE.
BBE. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let the guys know.
So you can move south at Group K, where is Escobar located right now.
Okay.
And we will join also.
Okay. All right. See you later.
Yep.
See you later.
See you. Okay, danke Marc.
User left your channel.
So, wir gehen dann auch aus dem.
Ja, genau, Omega.
Channel switched.
"34 minutes and half of the teams haven't shown up to the point of which they're oh boy. Oh boy. Right, where were we? Sexual reproduction allows organisms to create an amazing amount of genetic diversity via their offspring, which is handy because genetically diverse populations are more resilient in the face of disease and disaster. Many different individuals carrying many alleles of the same genes increases the likelihood that some individuals will be resistant to disease and the effects of disaster and will pass that resistance on to their offspring. In this chapter, we will discover how chromosomes act to determine sex in humans and other organisms, how sex influences the expression of various non-sex autosomal traits, and what happens when too many or too few sex chromosomes are present. X-rated, how you got so sexy. Presumably, since the beginning of time, humans have been aware of the not similarities between the sexes. But it wasn't until 1905 that Nettie Stevens stared through a microscope long enough to discover the role of the Y chromosome in the grand scheme of things. Until Stevens came along, the much larger X chromosome was credited with creating all of the celebrated differences between males and females. Hey drinking buddy, how's it going?
So, which one of you is gonna be SpongeBob?
Are wish I hadn't seen that. I'm actually hungry now for food. Okay, let's see. So it's going to be Divine Intervention versus BPE because Hype hasn't shown, and presumably neither has Panzerjäger Battalion. So, okay. So let's look at things. That sustained damage though, 24,000 DPM. Christ, that's a lot. Actually, I want to have a look at the VBR's rate of fire. VBR, where are you? All our tanks. We have a rate of fire of 750 rounds a minute. 750 times 28. Let's see. Calculator. 750 times 28. So the VBR with Peli has a DPM of 27,000. Oh shit, wrong one. I need to leave and go to Group K. Custom match. Not Group K. So the streamers for this are Keller 1993, Kuki, Primer 7G, me, and somebody called Zubaji, who is Russian. Cool. When do we go back to the textbook? I'm actually tempted to just put on my Amazon account and let's all just watch the man in the high castle together or something. Question is, why does my M60 have Freya? There we go. Look at the difference between these two. Compare. So this is with Freya. So this is with Freya and this is with Philip. Philip has better DPM, faster reload by quite a bit. He also has almost faster by a second, slower hold reverse, and Sabrina has slightly better aim time but much better turret reverse. This game ain't dead, what are you talking about? Yeah, what is everybody? Hi Mike, how are you? Are we starting? Looks like... this is, what is it? This looks like Din versus, BPE. I think. Wait, what's the size of the team supposed to be? let's see. Armored Warfare replays is up. Okay, I think we're getting a roll at the first round. Okay, so we've got a. Okay, they've got a 5-man. They've got a. Is this it? Is it really supposed to be 5v5? It's a bit weird if it is. They started yet? Okay, not yet. Okay, every team will consist of 5 players. Cool. Right, so we're almost ready. Okay, so this is Divine Intervention versus, I believe, we'll find out the name. I think it's versus BPE. And this is the first of the Global Operations Tournament, DCOT. And this is their first match. So we have Din in T90 messes and a Leopard 2A6, so they have 4 brawlers and a sniper, while the other team are in 4 Merkavas and a T90 mess. So I think Din has a slightly better team composition simply because the Leopard and the T90 messes are relatively fast tanks, while the Mercs are pretty slow. But the Mercs have far better burst damage and are better at holding the cap circle when they get there. So Din has the advantage at getting into the cap circles, but BPE and their Mercs are far better at holding them. So I predict that Din is probably better off rushing to the to number 2 and holding it for as long as they can, and then maybe retreating so they can get those extra points. Simply because I don't think they'll be able to hold those Merkavas when they come over. The Leopard, I'm not really sure why it's here. Its Amarek in the front is a catastrophic weakness, and while it can penetrate the Merkavas, the T90 MS are better at facing them simply because of the higher damage and the better layout. As you can see, they're all going in a relatively straight line and they'll all arrive at the cap circles in the same time. The T90's acceleration and speed is kind of nullified in a straight line like this, but when the battle progresses, Din will probably have their reinforcements in the form of their T90 messes come faster. So BPE is slightly fast off the mark. We have... who is that? Oh fuck, hang on. It is Peter Brown in his T90 MS. Presumably scouting here or something. He is the furthest one forward and he's probably going to get slightly butt raped by this guy. Should be aiming the lower plate. Ooh. Oh god, god, not good. Come on, bro. Get those tracks if you can. Get those tracks. Get that lower plate. No. Okay, it's not good. It doesn't look like it's going particularly well for Din right now. Although if they still hold down here, they may have a chance versus these Mercs. The Mercs have pretty poor gun depression in all honesty. As you can see, we have one Merc that's literally on low health right now, but their T90 Mass has actually so far done a good job at least flanking round. Their Leopard, for some reason, is over here, and like I said and predicted, the Merkavas are far better in a assault while such as this than the 90 Masses. Right, and they only have 2 guys up at the moment. As you can see, the Merkava's lack of a turret ring weak spot means that when it gets into that kind of position, it's very hard to kill them. And these 2 guys are actually kind of screwed up right now. So while Din's other T90 MS reinforcements will be quick to get there, I'm not sure if it will help because it'll only be 2 of them versus 4. And for now, at some point, as you can see here, only the Leopard has started entering the battle, and he's just too late. I would have gone with either a full T90 MS team, or not. Simply put, the Leopard is a little bit outmatched in his circumstances. It's a hold down tank with the penetration of the tier 10, so while it's a good counter to the Merkava if it can get into position or not, in GLOPS I don't really think so, since GLOPS is about capturing and holding objectives rather than dealing damage, which the Leopard can't really do. Rip Leopard. So the rest of Din's reinforcements are actually approaching the cap zone now. Like I said, they'll get there far faster than everyone else. But the Merkava's ready racks, they'll need to get rid of that, so I would actually start concentrating fire on that T90 MS. It's more fragile, and it'll take that Merkava longer to be able to fully gain its ability to hold. And as you can see, BPE has actually started pointing out. Hello streamer, we often see this when we cannot find it. Anyway, they're starting to gain the cap back, but I'm pretty sure that bomber is going to come in and he's going to lay waste to it. Ow. Okay, it didn't even hit the thing. Come on, at least track it if you can. Get under its gun. Get under its gun. Come on. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on, shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. What are you ready? Ah. Okay, the objectives have changed, so the T90 message should be able to get there, but they did screw up. See, because if you've played this map before, you know that when you get down to roughly this level of points, the objectives will change. So BPE's tanks are already on the draw, they're already there, while Din's are gonna have to come up. Let's see on their side. So their T90 MS is doing pretty well, going as fast as he can rather than cab. Say 5. He's going to come up with a Merkava trailing behind. The Merkava will be able to hold the cap in this kind of hold down situation that this guy is in. And then the T90 MS will either be able to go down to support those Merkavas or he'll be able to stay there. And of course, BPE have also laid down some pillboxes as well, which will make it difficult for Din to assault them. The Leopard is... I mean, it's a noble effort, but he's not really going to be able to get many shots in here, because the main brawling effort will be focused on these T90 messes here. And Varkin has suddenly realised the meaning of the ready racks, and this looks like it's going to have quite a bit. Let's see where he's going to aim. Should be aiming at that front sprocket if he can. Or not, allegedly. Leopard down here, at this point I'm pretty sure they've already won. He shouldn't be pushing his tank back like that, because then you can literally penetrate the roof of the 90 MS there. And you see now they're going to start focusing fire on him. Fox is backing up to actually block the fire of the other 2 Macs. And if he didn't, I'm pretty sure this 90 MS might have been dead by now. Let's see. Ow, this is actually kind of painful to watch, to be honest. And as you can see, he's very fixated on that target here. He might have been able to penetrate either of those other 2. For instance, going for Foxtrot and taking the Merkava out of the fight is actually pretty important. It'll take down the ready rack number from 12 to 8. And I'm pretty sure we know where the next bomb is coming from. And BPE is really going ham on Din over here. And I don't think Din are going to be able to push it back. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, let's see how Peter does. I don't think Din has actually practiced against Merkavas at all. simply because of the immense difficulty they're having with them. Although I do feel that the Merkava, with its 4-round ready rack, the heavy upper plate armor and the lack of a turret ring weak spot means that it is quite dominant in this situation. And so maybe taking T90MSs is kind of not exactly good at all. And they're really struggling here. I feel that Din is going to have to readjust its tactics after this, because it did feel like they were grossly underprepared for the Merkava spam. It's funny because in Din, in the Steel Ocean tournaments, have actually been completely dominant. Then again, I believe these are different players, so whatever. But yeah, good game by BPE there. And I feel that Varkan is not going to be too pleased about this. So let's have a look at the in-game results. So, as you can see here, the Mercs did far outweigh the damage they did. They did 18,000 more damage. They did half as much more as damage than the Din guys did. And the fact that they got such high numbers, for instance, their top 3 players did more damage, did almost as much damage as the entirety of Din combined. And, well, ouch. So that was the first game. We'll have another one soon, and we'll be recording that as well. So, it looks like Din is going to be on the north side, and as you can see, they're actually changing out for a Merkava now. I would actually recommend that to simply go Merkavas as well, because the T90MSs can't really stand up to them. I've actually managed to stand up to Mercs in my 90MS on my own before, but that's on a solo play, and that isn't, you know, in a team-based scenario like this. In a team-based scenario, unless you're able to flank Merkavas and use your superior DPM, there's not much really you can do, and as such, in order to counter a Merkava, in all honesty, I would bring another Merkava, and I'm not really sure. I mean, I'd bring an Armada into the fight if I could. Maybe the Type 99 would help, simply because of its immense speed and heavy frontal armor. But once it gets flanked, it's got an easy, very to penetrate ammo rack, and its side armor is basically garbage at this point. Okay. Also, as a slight thing here, hi, my name's Spitfire, and Armored Warfare's only transgender stream at the moment, I think. And if you haven't liked or subscribed already, I will be publishing all of these recordings, and as well I also do more. And if you'd like to help out with me in my monthly phone bill, there is a Streamlabs description below. And now we are on to our second game. Okay, second game. So far we have a 1 win for BPE, and Din has lost the previous one. Din has slightly changed up their team lineup here with a Merkava chosen by Peter. They have 3 T90MSs and a Leopard 2, while BPE has 4 Merkavas and 1 T90MS. I feel that Din should have gone with a full Merkava lineup, maybe take the Leopard as well, since now they have a very huge correlation. Their 90MSs are the fastest tank here, followed by the Leopard, so they'll reach it, but their only heavy unit, the Merkava 4, will be trailing behind. And yes, I agree that the 99A2 may be slightly best for this scenario, but regardless, we've got to see if Din learned from our last encounter, in which they were heavily outgunned by the Merkavas, and so hopefully we'll see how things go. So both teams are starting off again. We have BPI on the south side and Din on the north side, when it was the opposite before. And as you can see here, Din will possibly reach their cap before the Mercs do. And once there, I would recommend that they cap it and then immediately move to engage. The T90MS has superior poking, mobility and penetration, as well as DPM. So if they can use that and instead single out the Mercs and take them down one by one, they may have a shot in this battle. And as you can see here, Din was slightly off the draw on this one. And so if it comes down to a regular point-based scenario, hilariously enough, Din will actually lose because they were like literally like half a second behind. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So we're going to switch to the battle. As you can see, Peter Brown has gone forward in the Merkava. The Merkava can penetrate itself, roughly 50% chance on the lower plate, which is actually yellow. So using this guy to block tanks, as you can see, he has significantly higher hit points than just about everybody else, except for the other Merkavas, of course. And you can see all the fire he's taken. However, Din are heavily outmanned here on this part of the map. The Merkavas are chewing these T90Ss up, and they're basically getting boxed in. We have a 5 versus 4 scenario here. One of the Merkavas is going to die. I would recommend that Escobar in this case might be better off charging in. Nope, he's dead. Simply get a full health Merkava. And then after this, given how badly Din are doing again, I'm not sure. Carlsberg may be able to take out this T90MS, I'm not sure, but it doesn't really matter at this rate. If he can kill him, I'll be surprised, but he's about to get Merkava from behind, or T90MS in this case. Okay, there we go, we got a win. And the blue team here are going to steadily push this T90MS out, and due to the fact these Merkavas are on full health now, 1-1, well, 2 of them are, they should do a pretty decent job of being able to push, being able to hold the cap circle, and be able to hold Din off long enough. They've made an order in which possibly any reinforcement or respawning tanks are probably going to start heading to the pillboxes there, or and then likely to the next capture point, so they have a leg up on that one. Well, Din are currently sending reinforcements to the fight. Instead, I think they should just not bother with this and instead take a early hold on objective 3 and 5, I think. As you can see here, they're doing a wonderful job of keeping these guys off. It may not last as long, but they don't need to. All they need to do is to prevent these guys from holding the cap, and they can drain Din of their GLOPS points. And they do actually have a pillbox down there, and Varkin, I believe, has regretted his decisions once again, really. You can see he's aiming for the cap point there. Shouldn't have done that. Just blast it. Come on, aim for the come on, aim for the sprocket. Track it. There we go. No, there we go. No. Oh, well, it doesn't matter in this case. BPE can happily move the rest of their tanks up. And of course they're going to put another bomber on. I think they are so far staying at least 1 or 2 steps ahead of Din in this encounter, since they've already got another bomber up. They've likely played GLOPS extensively to know this, and oh dear God, that physically hurt me. Where's my goddamn plus now? There you go, that'll work. So for now, they're likely keeping the bomber until the rest of Din respawns, and then they'll likely drop it on capture point 5. As you can see, V here is trying to desperately cap this. It doesn't look like Din is actually fighting as a team well enough in this. As you can see here, there's some stumbling around going on this part of the map. So I think BPE has the superior team coordination here. And as you can see, immediate bomber, the moment it flies in, they'll just carpet bomb it. And so far that's actually some of the funniest tactics. And I don't think Din has actually properly realised what's happening here, because and basically another bomber wipeout. Christ almighty. And for now it looks like they can actually start spawn killing Din. Because, Jesus, that's not good at all, is it? Ow. So Din's gonna roll in again, and I don't think... Oh wait, look, there's another bomb already. I find it kind of unacceptable that the winning side has access to so many bombers, like this is literally their second one. Okay, so Din is trying to take back that bomber, but I don't think it's going to work, simply because he's in the spawn fire with now 3 Merkavas. And BPE is likely going to go for another bomber in this case, to which if they achieve another literal team kill, like, these guys are the fucking GMs and they're going for party wipeouts in this case. Yeah, BP has a very good focus fire, and I don't think Din has this. Yep, there we go, another bomb coming in. So all they have to do is to force Din into a firing line, and they'll achieve another game. And I don't think Din actually particularly... Okay, so they've learned so far that it's only a matter of... They achieved a 3rd wipeout. Jesus. Boy, that was something. I feel like Din may need to hurriedly go for Type 99 A2s, but regardless, unless they want to go for another game, BPE has won 2 out of 3 games, and that means they've won this round. As you can see here, same story as before, except this time BPE did twice as much damage with Messena Kane, who is the 40k name for a god, I think. Did 22,000 damage. I think Din needs to be able to maybe do some more training sessions, and to instead maybe concentrate on focus firing and working as a team. Right, what's next? As you can see, they are trying for Merkavas this time, so they've got another 2 Merkavas. However, I feel like they should simply swap out all for Mercs. God, that was just brutal to watch. Okay. We are presumably on the 3rd round. I guess Din wanted to see if they could maybe challenge them again. So BPE has instead elected to have a Leopard 2A6. Maybe he got bored of Merkavas, or maybe Din, I'm not sure of that case. But regardless, at this point, Din now has 2 Merkavas compared to BPE's 3. BPE has a Leopard. I don't think those Leopards are particularly useful in this matchup. The T19 maybe, but those Merkavas have definitely been the star of the show so far. Right. So, hopefully Din is going to start focus firing, and maybe looking out on the map to see when those bombers are going to come in, because those T-90MSs can actually dodge bombers while the mercs really can't. Nice camo paint on there, by the way. Right, let's see what's happening this time. So both teams heading for the cap point as usual. I suspect that as before the previous 2 times, BPE is likely to go for a aggressive start to the match again. As you can see, their Leopard and their T-90MS look like they're gonna actually try and cut Din off, maybe either that road over there or there, and they're gonna see if they can distract them. I don't think this is going to be part of any original strategy, and maybe a simple guess to see if maybe they can distract Din with those 2 guys. And it may have worked, in fact. So we have a Leopard coming up here. See if he can head them off. That T-90MS is in a really decent place. I think Din needs to work out on the armor profiles and where to shoot tanks, as they have had difficulties with snapshot firing before. And okay, so they've actually managed to completely surprise them and distract them, so that feint worked. And now the hammer of the Merkavas is going to come in all the way from behind, and they might not even see them until it's too late. So those mercs are going to pop it from here, and they're going to ready wrap these guys in the butt. So if Din can cut off these 2 guys here, that's good. That may be the strategy they're aiming for, to try and isolate them from the mercs. But they need to do this quick. And they need to just go in straight for these guys and then immediately turn around and engage those mercs. That may have even been BPE's initial strategy all along, just to distract Din from the 2 cap points. As you can see here, Din is actually starting to fall behind in cap points now. So they need to go straight on for these mercs, organise a firing line, and take them out. That Leopard might actually be useful in this case, provided you can go hold down. There we go. I think maybe if they started training and aiming for the Merkava's ammo like that, maybe as well. Metatron there, I think he's slightly screwed up in that scenario. Going ahead like that means he's just going to be the focus of focus fire. But at this point, oh man, Peter Brown should not be there. He should be in that cap circle, getting those capture points down. Because okay, I think Din had a good counter-attack going here, but then they may have screwed it up because they've been focusing on killing enemy tanks, while BP has been going straight for the cap points first. They could have launched all their units in a full-scale attack, but instead they capped the point and then went, while Din has been focusing on instead killing these mercs. And I don't think this strategy is going to work, because now those mercs are respawning, and this is going to happen all over again, and Din is 400 points behind. As you can see here, Viking is actually probably going for the bomber attempt here. I don't think BPE has access to one, so he's probably going to try and use the bomber strategy back on them, which, as long as they do it in advance rather than before, rather than when they get here, it may work. But of course he's going to have to wait here, so he may instead, if he can see them, he may want to drop that bomber on those mercs when they come down and force them to get out of their firing line, which is so far what BP has been very good at. T-90MS, good distraction here. He's tying up 3 guys, and those mercs are about to drop down from behind again. Oh god, he's burning now. Did he take a fire extinguisher? I don't think he... Oh, he did. He had to pause for a second to figure out there, but now all of his components are down, and he's about to get absolutely destroyed by Foxtrot. Okay, instead Din should now just start running. We haven't seen the bomber coming yet, but I think those 2 mercs down there are a little bit waylaid. I think they've realised this, and Din should instead just leave this T-90, this Leopard with them. I don't think V has actually had any proper intelligence on what's going down there. maybe should have waited for the mercs to actually approach, or if the bomber was on, say, like 2 seconds, they go into the moving phase now. A good guess, I guess. Yeah, that is the problem going with here, Ed. I don't think Din properly knows where to aim for weak spots in this case. And as you can see here, and they've always been on the defensive in this option. And their defenses have always been cracked by BPE here. BPE here having basically sacrificed those 2 mercs. Instead of asking them to come around back there, they're instead asking them to engage the majority of Din, actually all of Din's team members, in an effort to kill them. So they can cap these 2 points and basically push Din. This may be the game winner here, because as long as they can force Din into this scenario where they have to engage and protect for all costs, they can happily sit behind with 5 and 3. Okay, so they're all focus firing on this leopard now. He really should be aiming straight at the lower plate, not into the turret. That leopard has a very, very, very weak lower plate, and the left side of the tank is where the ammo rack is. So if you can hit that twice in rapid succession, and if the person isn't quick enough on their fire extinguisher, you may be able to completely ammo rack the tank and take it out in the fight. They're finally learning to focus fire here. This is good. This is good. Track the T90 mess if you can. Come on, aim for the tracking shot. Don't go for the kill shot. Track it so it can't. No. And as you can see here, okay. Go in for the tracking shot. Come on. Come on, dude. He hasn't even fired the shot yet. I'm not sure. I don't think it really shows up. Okay. Tried the cart, but I think he should have tracked that T90 mess to begin with. So they would have been able to expose and isolate himself, because the T90 mess's defense is its mobility, and taking away the tracks on the T90 mess can basically be death for it. Okay. Next up, Din really has no hope of winning this game, in all honesty. In fact, I may, if I have the time, I may go to talk to him about it, and tell him what I saw about their problems and bugs, because this was generally quite painful to watch, in terms that I don't think Din really understood what they were up against here, and that has really been on the back foot. So far they've only capped a bomber really once. They've actually gone straight for the kills instead of going for any of the wild cards here, such as the bomber and the pillboxes, which they could always place down to help them out. And instead they've gone for kills over caps. As you can see here, BPE's strategy of simply sacrificing and using feints and distractions have really worked in this case. And as you can see, they're about to drop a bomber on these mercs once again. And instead of going for their own bomber, did have instead elected to, like I said, go for this. Okay, I think they wiped out the pillboxes, which I guess is good enough in terms of a defensive thing. Maybe they were hoping for more. And this has once again been another win by BPE. So far we have had 3 wins out of 3 for BPE in this circumstance. Let's have a look at the review again. As you can see here, basically twice as much damage as before. The focus on bombers and everything has really done for it, and I think Din does need to work on their focus firing, objective taking, and being aggressive. So I'm going to go in and talk to them now.
Channel switched.
I'm going to wait to see if they're going to talk to each other or not. It's up to them, really.
Channel switched.
more in PvE and more in global operation. Always playing in global operation.
Right, okay.
But we have a good experience in this mod.
Good, good, very good.
Voilà.
Well, I have to thank the organizers as well. Well done, by the way.
But you know, we have to do another match, yeah? It's the match against Hype, I think.
Now
wait.
we play with Hype or with next challenger.
BPE will play us next against MT Panzer Jäger Battalion. It means Destroyer Battalion.
Destroyer battalion.
Yes, MT.
Okay. We stay here.
Yeah, you can stay here.
Ok, ok. On reste ici les gens. Voilà.
Et voilà.
Et voilà.
Right, where would you like us to go?
You can stay
Channel
off.
switched.
I just need to keep waiting for custom matches at this point, really. So we gotta wait for Group K. I think, is there a refresh button? Okay, there isn't. So to review, I believe that wow, I just gained 3 subscribers.
User joined your channel.
There we go.
Hi. If you don't mind, this is on my. Hi.
Hi.
If you don't mind, I'm still streaming.
Sorry.
But.
Alright.
I'm gonna be blunt. You fucked up.
Oh no, we don't play Global Ops anyway.
There were several problems that I noticed, and it's that you were playing PvP and going for kills.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of looking at the wider picture.
Yes.
Several of your guys waited forever to take a shot. You weren't tracking any of the Merkavas or anything, which meant that they had full mobility to basically run rings around you.
Oh yes.
This is good, actually, because now you can focus on what you did wrong and how to resetify it.
The third match, by the way, if you realized, we completely changed tactics.
You did, but there was a slight problem with that, and that you weren't really grabbing those wild cards.
Exactly.
And I think... No, go for it.
We completely approached the whole thing as a complete PvP because we're not used to playing Global Ops. Personally, I haven't touched Global Ops for the last 2 years. We try to avoid Global Ops as much as we can, but you're right. We were playing it purely tank vs tank instead of going for the wild cards. Our approach was completely wrong. Personally, this is my first time playing in a tournament in Armored Warfare as well. So it was a bit difficult at first, but we got used to it. There's another match coming up, so we'll definitely learn from this experience.
Mm-hmm. Who are you playing against?
I think it's we're waiting for whoever wins, or actually whoever loses against Hype. I'm not sure which team it is.
Are you Group K or not?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I have no idea if the public game has actually been recertified or something, because nobody tells me anything. But for now, I would say train some, see if anyone can go up against you, or maybe see if you can get 10 guys around, and maybe just keep playing the game.
Yeah. In this formation.
Yeah, and taking a full team of the same tank helps.
Oh, I know. Oh yes. Focus firing as well.
Focus firing tracking shots and going for the wild cards. And objectives first, of course.
Okay. I'll let them know. As soon as we know who we're up against, I'll send you a poke.
Sure, thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Take care, V.
Bye.
Bye.
User left your channel.
Let's go bar and play every day for 8 hours. I don't think I could play a game every day for 8 hours. I would just have to play a game completely. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on next. We may be simply waiting for another game or so. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't really have... Yeah, they ended the tournament without practicing. God. Well, that happened. No idea how long we'll be waiting, really. It's up to presumably Hype to finish. Let's have a look here. So, this is the results so far. So I don't think anyone's really done anything yet. Ooh. That's about it, really. Let me check my Twitter. Jenna Snentrin. Just hanging here, we'll sort of film that in. I'm hungry. I need food. I always need food. So, we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. And we have had games that have lasted for about, let's see, 10. So we've had about half an hour worth of games, so roughly 2/3 of my time have actually been spent just sitting around waiting, really. And I think Group K over there is waiting for things to happen with the custom match. Let's say DOT, BPE versus DIN, so nobody's really updated this right now. Divine Intervention versus Hype, there we go. Right, now we're on the right track, I think. Wait, sorry, lost? Don't know. Slowpoke, sorry. Wait, yeah, sorry, lost apparently. Wow, that's something. Is RSOP in the tournament? Let's have a look. I haven't really seen an RSOP around for a while. They might have been able to even get a full team, really. I'm so sorry. First. Okay, that's the result so far as I know. Okay, so I think they're just waiting at the moment, but want to get my Zebra roll, please. Right, okay, I've got it. I don't think I'd be particularly good in a team-based scenario. I'm more of a solo player, in all honesty. Gotta really wait for things to happen. Last one standing. Hey Vaughn. We are waiting for the next game. Watch sorry a bit. Seem to play smart PvP. Other team is much more aggressive. Right, so this is Din versus Hype. Din, if you change the D of the URL of challenge to EN, you can get the GLOPS interface. What? So Hype won the previous game and Din lost. Cannot get numbers for whole game New World servers. Right, so ready? Okay, looks like everybody's readied up. I hope none of them decided to actually take these tanks. Okay, we're on Grindelwald, so okay, everybody's slowly readying up and everything. So Din has two T90 masses, one Charlie, one Leopard, one Cent, and a T90. And Hype has three 99s, one 120, and one Thunderbolt. So Din has a very mixed team lineup. None of them can really cover each other's roles except for the two T90 masses, while Hype, of course, has the punch of four 99s and 1 Cent. So I think Hype may have the better team lineup here, while I think Divine Intervention should be better off doing this simply so they can have a learning experience, while Hype is probably, I think Hype and BPE are probably the two good teams here. they're probably doing this to win, or I think Din is doing this as a early starting match to see what they're doing wrong, and with the team lineup you can see what they're doing wrong already. The meat of the team, aka the Chally, won't be able to reach the objectives as fast as the other three can. The Leopard doesn't have the armor to withstand anything, while the T19Ss are too fragile. The Centaur 120 seems to be a good round, as this is a relatively flat map, so we can empty its ready rack quickly. Whereas Hype has, like I said before, the 499, so they can cover each other's roles. They all know what each other is capable of, and they all know what they can do. So I think Hype may be having issues here. Okay, good luck for Divine and Hype. Agreed. Right, so start the match going. Hype is making an aggressive push towards 3, while it looks like the Centaur 120 is either going to take a flanking shot or he's going to see what's up. He's obviously the fastest tank here, while Hype is concentrating all of its vehicles, all of its heavies on one spot. The Centaur 120s, let's have a look. Good hit there. I don't think Peter is particularly enthusiastic about what's happening right now. He's hiding. So the only thing inside tank has to do here is delay these guys. So initial tank lining up, Hype is forming a firing line and they're all going up together. Whereas Din has their challenger finally come up with them. But of course they're heavily outmatched here. The types have the best armor in this part. Frontally though, if maybe Din can take advantage of the weak side armor and start tracking these guys. Right, let's see what's happening. So he's going straight round the corner and they're going to immediately flank these guys and take them one-on-one. As you can see, a massive flanking, and they're all going to focus on this Leopard first because it's the only vehicle that can really penetrate them. Leopard's down, who they're going to focus on next? Okay, T19MS has the least armor, least hit points, they're going to go for Varkan, then they're probably going to lead the Chally too. As you can see here, Kazi is distracting this challenger from shooting people. Oh god. As you can see here, they can basically just swarm the Chally too. I think if Din maybe took Type 99s or Merkavas, falling back would have been an option because Din is literally just focused, his Hype is literally just focusing on swarming tactics right now. As you can see here, should be aiming for the turret. Nah, a bit too late. Oh well, whatever. It's all good. So next, they might leave somebody to instead engage them, or they're all going to immediately swarm for one. Or they're going to stay here, go hold down. As said before, they have an advantage in this scenario with their types, as they all have the same speed and they can activate the engine boost. Now they're all going to go here, they're going to form a firing line, go for that 90 mass and maybe the Centauro. Hype's Sen is obviously taking advantage of this, and Peter Brown is stuck, allegedly. So Hype might be wise to simply leave that Centauro alone, so they can put him out or get him off. It's actually pretty funny enough because at this point I would simply just leave him alone. Taking that Centauro out of the fight could work, and of course I think these two types are actually heading forward to at least distract these guys. I did talk to V and reminded him not to get distracted, so maybe he's going to learn about this and instead focus on those objectives. Will the missile scout be better than the sending gloves? I'm not sure. The scent, of course, isn't distracted by APS, has higher penetration versus side and front armor, and of course goes faster as well. Okay, so they did kill the scent. As you can see, they might be finally focusing far air, but I think that Charlie should actually be moving up. Staying there and letting his heavy armor simply wait, what's he asking for? Okay, so Peter is apparently stuck. Okay, he's not now. Actually, I shouldn't talk at all. I should just instead comment on what's happening. So, what's happening now, is... Not sure why he's there. In my honest opinion, that Charlie should be moving ahead. He has a shit ton of hit points. And simply staying put is not going to help him at all. Good side armor hits on that guy there. I'd say they need to be aggressive. They need to push and push and push and push through these guys. Clear them off too, and instead keep going. I'm not 100% sure about this. Okay, I haven't really played this match much. I've literally only played this map in artillery. But for now, Peter is engaging his Sen. They might even mutually kill each other. Of course, 2 cents with their ready rack is actually quite funny to watch, as they literally have a 2-second reload time. They can kill each other in 4 shots. So you don't really need to further their ready rack to begin with. Hype, I don't think Hype has lost any of its vehicles yet. I'm not sure. I don't think it has. Has it? Don't know. As you can see here, they're moving in. Din is concentrating on getting some pillboxes up. It might help them. I'm not sure. Don't know if they can like surprise Hype with surprise pillbox butt sex. It may possibly work on this map. And they're actually learning. They've got their T19S on 7 to take it. And okay, I'm not sure if it's particularly to distract that guy or not, or maybe if they think there's something else there. I don't think that bomb is that well placed. And of course, Din kind of didn't place their boxes very well. That's not really going to help much unless Hype just starts screwing around. Or maybe it's giving them something to fire at, I don't know. But they're capping pillboxes again. K21 XC8 is not bad for this map. The K21 is a tier 10, and I don't think it would help. You'd be better off taking the Sphinx over a K21. Can engage in this Type 99 here. Zabino, pointing his front towards the Centauro because the Centauro can do as much damage. And of course, if he puts the Centauro on a one-shot, he's taken Din's biggest gun out of the team, basically. And to be honest, the Wilk is a better option because it has the petty rounds. Pillboxes, do pillboxes fire on each other? Don't know. Not sure what he's doing here. Should be moving by now. Maybe he's waiting. Oh, he's waiting for some fire, isn't he? I'm an idiot. Anyway, at this point, okay, so now they're going to use the RT kill streak on this one. Kill streak is friggin'. The hell? Anyway, let's see what's happening. So, I'm not sure if the RT shells will do anything on this one. They might help, not sure. So let's go to ASOC. So he's pushing along. Going to, where are we? Okay, he's in the middle of them, and he's going to take out that T19S hopefully, or not. Might be the best idea for him, don't know. Okay, he's got him, so he's taken a mutual gun out of the fight. And then I don't think taking the Challenger 2 to go to the RT spot is a particularly good idea. they're taking their heaviest armor out of the fight just to focus on some kill streak that may or not even work at this point. We have Sabrina engaged in the Centaur 120 over there, and we also have these pair of we have these pair of types that's probably going to gangbang him. They're likely to go for 9 and 10. I would say do that, as it's probably the best one, and it's closer to hype, and then they can use their heavy front armor to basically weather the storm and keep capping. If I was hype and I wanted to stop these guys from capping, I would go for that. Well, if I was Din and I wanted to stop these guys from capping, I would go for the tracks. And then they should have hold on at least 2 capture points here, and basically put a stranglehold on Din at this rate. Let's see what's going on. So they've got that. At the very least, having that type there could be enough to distract Din, so they can grab 10 as well. Let's see. Yeah, they're doing it. In fact, Zakari, well, WoT might even be able to cap. Let's see, how long has he got left? 10 seconds. So they've got 9 seconds to get there, and if they don't, Din are going to be in serious trouble. I don't think Din is going for any wildcards at this rate. I think using that bomber could actually be really decent on this one, so they could at least grab those guys. But we have some helicopters. Never actually seen helicopters before on this map. I think this type should be permanent movement at this point, and I think... Okay, RD shells. Is it a MI8? No. Varkin over there. What's he doing? Okay, he's going forward to engage this type. And of course he's engaging. The lovely problem is the type of armor. And that looked like it hurt, to be honest. What's the big exclamation points above this player? Dunno. Oh no, those are ammo for the artillery wildcards. What is the Thunderbolt 2? The Thunderbolt 2 wouldn't be a particularly good matchup in this. It's a railgun, but you need MBTs for this, to be honest. Charlie 2. Okay, let's see if he can do this type on. It's obviously him versus Kuzakari, and the only real place you can pen a Charlie 2 is this lower plate here. Let's see what happens. So these guys are engaged in the Mexican standoff. Din doesn't have this cap point, so maybe if he charges forward, we get some help. Also, we get there. Anyway, Din has pretty much lost this map at this point, and Hype has secured himself a nice 2,082 points. Come on, there's a side armor. Come on. Don't think he probably really realised what was going on there, did he? Din Centaur 120 has kind of had a weird match this one. I said that and immediately got blown up. Sebastian. Yeah, Dinner 1,200 bone there burned. Yeah, I know. And 3, 2, 1, and boom. So there we go. Crushing victory by Hype. Kind of predicted it with that tight matchup. They knew what they were doing. They knew it was on, and Hype obviously knew what they were doing, while Din had a very mixed lineup of tanks, and it really didn't help them. So as you can see here, it is significantly more. Din, not really much, while Hype basically wiped the floor with them. It's a pretty upsetting game, but you can see what happens. I need some coffee. Could I have some really strong coffee? All this talking is actually starting to make me fall asleep at this rate. Holy shit, I've gained 4 subscribers. Okay, so I'm ready. Din's matchup, 3 T9 TMSs, a Leopard and a Scent. I don't think those T9 TMSs are going to help much in this scenario, and I think Hype maybe just changed their lineup to see what they could do with the Draco. Maybe that 4th type wasn't that particularly useful for them. Maybe they want to go with another supporting fire tank. I feel like they may simply just be experimenting in this case. Rip indeed. Yeah, Hype have a very strong team. So they've taken Metatron out. I feel like they should swap Von Klausberg with Metatron. Okay, slightly different team this time, except... Well, yeah. Hype has swapped one of their types for a Draco, and Din has instead dropped the Challenger 2 and gone for an extra 90 MS. They did actually have a player in the wings with another 90 MS, which maybe they could have replaced either the Centauro or the Leopard with. So at least then they would have had a unified MBT team. In this case, Din has the advantage in MBT numbers, but Hype overall probably has the better players in the better MBTs, as the Type 99A is basically, in my opinion, tied with the Nagova 4 best Tier 9 MBT. I need that camo. Would you get the Right, so Din is probably going to focus on 1 and then go for 3. I feel like Hype's types have settled on, have maybe spawned in the wrong place. It would have been better for them if their Draco and Centauro spawned on the left side of the map. But in this case, it won't really matter as the type is a very fast tank. So what we have here is the 90 MS is going up against the is going up against the Squishies, while the types are going against Din's Squishy and the Leopard. As you can see here, Peter Brown and the Leopard here are probably going to get very heavily hammered. If I was a Leopard, I would instead move to there so I could go hold down. It's making a bit of a mistake here, as you can see here, exposing that very, very weak lower glacis. So basically go behind. I think he's finding it. Not enough, dude. Come on, you gotta... that bit there. Okay. So I think he hit that type, but it's not going to matter as type is going to go the usual aggressive play. I think Klausberg has probably done this before and is instead backing the hell up. Okay, the Centauro has moved himself to go in a supporting fire, and maybe they should be able to kill this type together. there we go, they've got a type. First blood for... Wow, they pretty much mutually kill somebody else. And I think Din ran into a Draco in a Centauro problem. The Centauro on Din's team is not having a good day by the looks of it. So you can get, maybe get another hit in. No. Ouch. Ouch indeed. So, T90MS, they may go for free, they may go somewhere else. It looks like he might get Muffin Monster. If I was Muffin Monster, I'd be very scared right now. Come on, back up, back up, back up. Is he gonna kill it? Oh. Okay, might go for the turret ring. Ouch. And it looks like Din is gonna go for 3, which is probably gonna be the best round for this. T19 months running around. Type everything. Okay, that's Centauro 120. He's not going to survive, but rather than go back and change his ammo, instead he's going to secure this bit, and he's going to wait. He knows he's going to die, but I think that sacrifice to take 1 has put maybe. It seems that Din has actually attempted to focus on objectives this time because they're not that far behind Hype. So what they really need to do is focus on taking all of these objectives, and Asarik and the Draco can of course completely overpower the Centauro in situations like this, and maybe that's what they bought it for. So they're going to take this part back. So presumably, so Hype can actually continue opening the lead. Okay, so he's running away. He's probably might be hoping to get around behind him, go somewhere else maybe. Might have screwed up there with going around. Out. That oh. Okay, Muffin Monster. Good play there. Good play there. Loaded 3 rounds. Went straight for him, and of course he's going to go straight for 1, so he can cap the position. Because the role of the Centauros in this is actually some really weird fast capper thing. Of course, RD Shell's coming in now. He's going to poke out. Ow, V. I hate him seeing down like that because V is actually a pretty good friend of mine. All Yakelin needs to do is just to stop these guys from capping, and I'm maybe they're going to put that bomber in, or maybe they're going to instead drop it when Din next comes up, but for now defending the cap is probably just going to get them bombed. So far we haven't seen Din really go for the wildcards in this raid. Come on, let's see if we can focus on this 99. Getting dead players is far more important than doing damage, because then those dead players can't contribute as well, they're dead. Maybe if that T90MS can instead go for the bomber spawn, so they can at least have some advantage over there, and of course I feel like that Centauro 120 would have been better off going for the bombers instead of the artillery, because well, I haven't really seen the artillery. And those bombers are instead going straight for the wild card. Where's that bomber going? Okay, they're going to try everything. I have coffee! Yay! Don't normally drink coffee. So this lone this lone T90MS versus these 2 pipes over there. They're catching him in a crossfire, so we can't really angle. Well, T90MS doesn't have armor in the first place. Let's see how this Centauro does versus the Draco. Ouch. So the 99A swarms by Hype is actually proven to be really effective. I feel like the tank could use either an armor nerf or a speed nerf, or maybe both. As you can see here, Hype is going for the objectives. Din hasn't gone for their bomber spawn yet, while Hype is going for the cap and the helicopters and bring them in. So they've got one down, and they're probably going to get that one as well, so they can get 3 of them flying in the air. Pretty quiet at the moment in terms of well, I say it's quiet, but now we have this going on. Sebastian's likely to go for this leopard and help out this Draco. Wow, the arty actually did some pretty significant damage there. But as long as Sebastian can keep his front pointed at this guy, and then Peter should probably want to just swing all the way around. Oh no, Peter, no, keep going, oh dear. Okay, so Hype now has 2 helicopters in the air. They might go for the other one, and as you can see, they have their Centaur 120 over there by inside tank going for this guy, so they can get him pinned down and cornered. As you can see, Yakula versus these 2 Type 99s are still going on. I feel like Hype is trying to deny them this bomber spawn. That will probably be the best option in this circumstance, really, and maybe he's going to try and slink away. That might be the advantage of this game, to be honest. I think he's getting shot at by the Centaur. I'm not. Ooh, RT shells! Jesus. This is a really beautiful map when you think about this now. Or maybe he's going to try and go for this type. Oh, there's a lot of exposure of that side and rear armor there. I'm not sure how close he knows he's actually come to death in this round. But maybe he should be able to get the kill on this guy. Yeah, he's got him. Okay, good job. Right, Din is finally going for their wild cards. Good. That's good. They can cap that bomber spawn, and then maybe they can lay it on somebody. That's quite funny. What else is going on? So we have a Centauro cap in, we have another Centauro moving up. The Leopard is chasing the Type 99A, and Hype is going for the pillboxes. They're going for the cap points. This is good. They're learning. This is a learning experience for them. I mean, it may be having your head smashed in with a sledgehammer, but that's as much as a learning experience as this may be. So next tournament, we should expect to see a better divine intervention. You see they're good. They're dropping it on that Centaur 120. It's not going to be enough to cap. Might not kill him though. Sent just thinking out of the way there with 20 hit points. But the main thing remains is that Centaur is alive, because now he's able to completely destroy that guy there. But at least they really had a thing going. Like, they're finally knowing how to use it. Don't think he's noticed that Centaur yet. Yes, he's noticed it. I think. Maybe not. You can't really see players re-range in this. It'd be great if we could, but we can't. Okay, where's that other bomber going? As you can see, their type is going straight for those guys, and they're actually getting really heavily wound up by these boxes. So as long as they don't stop, it should be fine. Karski. Okay, they've got rid of both of the pillboxes, but they did take some damage from them. What else do we have going on here? Here, right now, they should be going straight for those 99As. They're on low hit points, and they might be able to do it. I think Peter is actually engaging these guys. Yes, he is. Look at that. Lovely. It's absolutely beautiful. I feel like Peter is slowly getting better as a player, although he is having issues with instead of going for targets. As you can see here, he has a lot of places to shoot at, but he's not doing that. He's splitting fire between all of these guys, and as you can see here, maybe his aim is a little off. But hopefully he can kill Karski and support his team there. If he can get a triple kill going here, that'd be great. See here. Ooh, he got one. Good job. Good job, Peter. Should be staying, actually. Come on, just stay there. Stay there. Doesn't matter. Kill those types if you can. Don't bother about the Draco. Taking out those guys is going to be far more important than going for one measly Draco. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, the one time where tunnel vision would have been effective, well, it didn't really happen in that case. Maybe they haven't realised yet that the Draco has an unmanned turret. Leopard. How's Mr. Leopard doing? Okay, he's sniping. Come on, dude, you shouldn't be sniping in this, or has he just left the game? He's probably left it. No idea what's happening down there. Brand new vehicles. So this is once again another win for Hype. So Hype has actually won this. But I think Din is definitely learning. Like, their fight got a lot better in this one. Of course, they had some issues with the Centaur 120 not really helping out. He kind of got distracted a lot, didn't really focus fire on enemy vehicles and everything. But regardless, I think this was, as you can see here, they got a lot closer than before. So that did go better. So once they start learning to focus fire and not get distracted, they could really start putting up a fight rather than getting steamrolled. So the first game versus Hype was a steamroll, but I feel like this one was fought a lot better, and they at least had an inkling of what they were supposed to do. However, going up against Type 99s is actually almost worse than Merkava's because of the 99 speed and heavy frontal armor. But anyway, good showing of Din. They're learning and it's going okay. Oof. I think they might be having another fight, I'm not sure. Don't know really. A tad bit. Well, V is actually getting better. At some point they will be able to start putting up a good fight. You see, when you start using something, the rust falls off. Can we actually look at any of these guys' stats? I've actually never really seen them before. 60% win rate. Pretty cool. He's paid a lot of RD. 2% win rate here. I think we're probably going to find a correlation here. This guy's played quite a bit of tier 10, so he knows what he's doing. And as you can see here, V hasn't really had this much experience. I think this is probably going to be the same for all of Din, really. Right, so we have the third game of Hype versus Divine Intervention, and Divine Intervention is slowly beginning to put up a fight. Hopefully, I mean, I do actually kind of want them to win this one, or at least get close. They are starting to learn, however, I feel like their team lineup is what's killing them. The Leopard is completely useless in this regards, as they should have either 4 90MSs or 4 Leopards. Don't go with mixed MBT numbers, as they can't really cover each other's strong points, really. Din are starting to learn to focus fire and go for the wild cards and everything. But given that hype is well hype, I don't think there ever was that much of a chance against them. But they can at least able to yeah. Right, let's see what's going on. So, as said by just about everybody, Din needs quite a lot of practice. Hype is a little bit more dispersed with the tank numbers this time. They have 2 types going to 3, one going to 1, another one going to the center, while the center R120 is presumably going to go in the middle. I think maybe they might be getting a little bit cocky with this one, or they're trying something new. Probably getting cocky. But, and of course, Din is going for at least trying to go with, I think, Hype's tactics on this one. They're grouping all of their MBTs together, so hopefully they're going to run over Hype in this one. Because in this case will be a 4 versus 3, and those T90 messes do have a better gun than DPM. So as long as they can get into a brawling match with these guys and keep penetrating them, they should be able to have a good time with this. But of course the Type 99's advantages is in its speed and armor. Unfortunately, Din did lose its Draco. I think Peter was maybe trying to emulate the other Draco, not sure. But there we go, von Klausberg kind of trying to move up on this one. There we go, they're all coming, look! They're learning! Come on! Come on, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going, come on, you can do it, come on! Come on! They're swarming them! This is actually getting good, they're actually looking. Look, they're learning. There's a little bit of panic going in Hype now. Look at this. I don't think they were expecting to actually swarm them like this. I mean, they might win, of course, but this is actually good. This is a good learning experience. They're beginning to use all of those games they had, and I mean, of course, Hype are better players. This is probably going to end badly for Din, regardless. But at least it's good to know that Din are learning, and while the strategy may have lost in this game, at least it's actually going somewhere with this. And of course you got the Draco coming round. I think maybe he should have pressed the handbrake a little bit too late. A bit too early. No, a bit too late. But anyway, with this, that was good. I liked seeing that. They were aggressive, they pushed up, they swarmed, and while it may have failed, it shows that Din is learning. And that's good. Good job. Good job. So, I actually want that black camo now, to be honest. Centaur 120 moving up and everything, doing around. So, next going up, I think Din might try the same tactic again, I'm not sure. Hype, of course, does have one very badly damaged type and everything, and they're bringing somebody back to use the RDPs. Better than I thought, I guess. I haven't really played this matchup, so these guys' experience does vastly outweigh my own. And you see Peter Brown in that Draco is, of course, actually having a pretty good time there. Flanked, managed to take out that Type 99. And Din once again is trying. So look, they're being aggressive. It's good. It's good. However, this time I feel like instead of, I mean, maybe they could work on this, refine it, and go for the tracking shots, and kill off the Type's biggest asset, which is of course its mobility. Oh, damn it here! And of course, I don't think this guy has a fully upgraded ammo rack, maybe. But yeah, look, they're actually starting to push them off. This is good. They're actually, no, not really neck and neck, but at least they're trying. They're getting much better, and you can see that they're learning from this experience. that Spitty is announcing from Hype Tank overview. I am, but you know, I can see both teams here. Since I want 20 here. So you have Inside Tank going for either 4 or 5. Okay, you know he's going for 4. Maybe. I think he might have forgot that. Okay, no, he's going to go for 5. Or 4, not sure. Hi Escobar, how you doing? Hi Spoonfang. Type, I think. Yeah, he's going for 6, so they're going to sacrifice their MBT numbers to Cap. Of course, good bomber there, good bomber. Din should probably have that Draco to get the bomber maybe. And of course, Von Talsberg is taking the initiative and he's going to at least try and prevent the Cap something going on. And as you can see, that was basically a complete wipeout. 390 MS is down. And that may be the turning point of this match because it's going to take about, what, 25 to 30 seconds for them to come back? Yeah, these two guys are then going to push up. They might actually go for the tunnel to see if they can go for that, are they? Ooh. To see if they can cut them off down there. They can sacrifice half of their types to maybe at least stop Din from capping the bomber, and maybe that will good bomber spawn there. So I think Hype might actually try and steal the bombers on this map. And okay, how fast is going? 70. Okay, I don't think he's using the engine boost yet, but he doesn't really need to. This is a good portion of the map. And they're either going to go for the 90 MSs or they're instead just going to try and cap the bomber spawn. If Sebastian can distract them, maybe Mode can go for the bomb. Okay, yeah, he's going for the bombers. No, or not. I'm announcing things really quickly and I have no idea what's going on. I do actually know what's going on, don't worry about it. Let's see over here on the leopard. So they're probably going to kill this Draco and then the 90 MS. I feel that Peter still has a way to go. And the leopard is once again heavily quad out of position. T90 MS is going to get swarmed once again, and then I feel like Hype might be better off going for the bombers instead of the cap spawn here, simply so they have the ability to literally rain down hellfire on the other team. I feel proud that they're learning. I do. They're learning. So while it may not show in the stats, Din is definitely making a better push than normal. See what's going on here. Varkan is probably going to get swarmed by this type. Oh god, this is just painful, but look. He's moving away from them, he's going for the type. This is good, come on V. You can kill that type. Oh no. That's a fun sacrifice by a bomber there, by the way. Oh, that is a good shot. Look at them desperately trying to go away and cross the bombs in. Boy, that was another bomber going in. The heart of the monster Hydra is in the fight. Yeah, this is going badly for Din. Like I said, they're learning. It's going up badly. Let's see what Munch Monster is up to. Question is, can Din cap these two objectives? Okay, like I said, getting those two bombers there are allowing them to basically drop and deny cap points. I would actually have preferred to put it on there, and maybe Din might have been able to sacrifice themselves for the cap, but at least they've got 2 more kills by bombers. Sebastian looks very pleased with himself, I would be. And I imagine they're probably going to drop pillboxes that they still want to line them on this area. and then they're gonna go in. I do feel like it's a little bit cheap that they're getting access to all of these wildcards though. Who are we going for? Okay, so Din. I think. Oh god. It's actually going up. Maybe. Let's see what he can see. So you can see his leopard. You can see everybody going around. I don't think this guy is particularly good at shooting on the move. And of course, Hype is dropping another bomber spawn in. Ow. Yeah, they're getting access to a ton of bombers in this game, and it's basically allowing them to deny capture points to Din and basically keep them bombs. Whatever it is, I think I should be able to go for this type. Can you see it? Okay, no, the type's actually underground at that point. You can't see it at all. And okay, he's using the bushes. He's not going forward yet. Just wait for it. There we go. Ah, dude. Okay, and you can see here he's still focus firing on that type, brothers. Once that type turns its turret, he can't really pen it, so he is better off going for this scent. And for now, in his case, I would simply just auto-aim that scent and just at least try to do as much damage as possible, because he's not getting out of this one alive. Oh, good hit, good hit, good hit. I was wrong. There we go. So what he's got to do now is auto-aim the scent. Come on. There we go. Good job, Peter. Good God. Good job. Unfortunately, Hype is moving the rest of their types up. There's a lot of arty over there. Okay, okie dokie, let's see. So, Hype is moving to cut off these guys in the front, but they're going to go for that. Okay, they killed the T-90 mess, so they're going to go down here, they're going to cut them off, and then they're going to assault them frontally with the T-90 mess as well. So they're going to have them pinned in by 2 numbers. As Cock realizing his roof armor is actually pretty weak, so instead he's moving up so we can be more level with them. And Din is moving off the capture point to intercept these guys. You can see here, good job by Varkin there. They're outflanking him and forcing him to expose a little bit of his side armor. But he's been able to get away, and this is another win for Hype. I think the match may have been... Din was definitely learning. They're getting better. I mean, Hype may be the best team here, but at least they're actually forcing Din to be able to learn and adapt, really. Right, let's see. So, once again, crushing victory in favor of Hype. But the numbers don't mean everything, as you can see by how Din played this. They were getting better, they were being more aggressive, they were learning to flank. They didn't really focus on the wildcards that much as they should have done. But I feel like when they can do that, and they can focus on their wildcards, and they can really start to focus fire and go for those tracking shots when pushing up, they should be able to be at least a pretty formidable team. Right, and the custom match has been disbanded. So, as much as I want to go on for a break and maybe get something to eat, I'm not really sure what's going on. BPE versus MD. Right, I'm gonna quickly go grab something to eat and go to the toilet. So I'm gonna put myself as AFK. Changing that name, Spitfire AFK. BRB. I'm back. Let's see what's happening. So we've got 5 people in here. Right, what's happening? What's up next? What's going on? Group K. Is that it? Okay, BPE versus Hype. Right. Okay, changed the name Spitfire. Right. Okay. I have some food. Put my coffee away. I don't have any water on me. Um, is that the Russian streamer? I think we have a Russian streamer with us actually. Zuba. Okay, so I do actually have some food with me, which is good. Oh. Fucking hell, that's hot. Okay, so I have hot. I have hot food. Hopefully they'll put me on an observer role, otherwise I can't really see anything. So, trying to crush meat with a fork is... Do I have to touch it? Ugh. Get off, mate. Hype's going with the Challenger, really? And BPE has 2 Leopards and a Merc. That's different. Okay, no, they're changing up in favour of Mercs. Okay. Could be using Mercs actually. Got some jerky here. I think I'm going to sleep well after this. I'm actually going to watch the Man in the High Castle after this. Yeah, I haven't drank a single cup of tea for about 5 hours now. I'm not sure why they're going for okay, so let's have a look. So far in Group I, we have everything going on there. So the final stage is 1137 versus Black Flag. Group K, we now have so Panzerjäger Battalion and Din both lost, so we now have BPE and Hype going against each other for a few rounds. Right, Roughneck. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, this is an interesting lineup from BPE here. So BPE has a very interesting lineup here. They have a very mixed team, while Hype as usual has gone for the standard hammer with their Type 99s. So Hype has a better MBT lineup here in the fact that they can all move at the same speed, you all have the same gun, same armor, whereas BPE have their own type. They have two leopards which can hold down tanks and snipers, so they can counter the types. But if these two were to clash, I feel like Hype would have the advantage, simply because they're able to all focus at the same time, so they can delegate tasks to each other, they can move around, and of course the fact that they're a hell of a lot more fast. So in this battle, it seems that BPE is pushing for 2, and their single time is going for 3. Of course, this means that Centaur 120 is probably going to take out Escobar there. I think Hype might get overwhelmed here, but as long as they can take both of those cap points and keep them for as long as they can, they may have the advantage here. Of course, those two Merkavas are probably the better tanks for this scenario here, but of course Hype is able to reposition a hell of a lot faster. So if they can kill off, they've killed it off, that might mean that both of their types are able to come down here as fast as they can, or maybe they're willing to sacrifice this cap and instead go for 1. It's up to them really. Of course Hype is slowly getting swarmed. This Merc is instead having slight problems with the type in the front. So you can see here, ooh, maybe, go for that side, Alma. Oh, no, he rammed it. The Scent will have a great match. Oh, he will. But so far, should be able to go for that Type 99 there. Thank you, Muck. I try to teach people as well as myself. And thank you for seeing all my videos, Spiky. Feel free to comment on them. Hype is managing to hold them off at 2, and of course, Zabrino, no idea how to say his name, is actually so far managing to hold 1 for as long as he can. He needs to get rid of this type so we can continue capping, but it may not be able to continue for long, but at least he can delay them here. And Hype so far has managed to stay control of their cap. BPE are 100 points behind Hype at this point. Good shot by Escobar there into the turret ring, but this type is so far managing to keep Escobar from actually intercepting Hype's own cappers at this point. Type has a bunch of their types moving forward at the moment. They only have 1 badly damaged type and another full health one at 3. But for now they do kind of have the advantage. As long as they can keep BPE from overwhelming them in certain places, I think Hype may be able to win this match. Why they have 2 types going towards 3, I don't know. They should be able to kill that guy with 1. And instead it seems like they might just be giving up 2. Which is actually just kind of depressing when you think about it. I'm actually recording this, aren't I? Yeah, I am, that's good. I feel like this is a bit of a mistake, delegating 2 types and a Centauro to 1 guy, and basically letting BPE have 2, while the rest of their guys are They have another 2 move in, and that leopard of course has taken his time trying to get there, so Hype may be able to regain control of this cap circle before BPE rolls in. It's still been a relatively close game. I feel like Hype has the advantage on this map simply because of how the cap points are spread. But, and of course, the conflict so far has been on these 2 points, which means that it takes longer for the slow Merkavas of BPE's team to reach. Which of course the Merkavas are actually BPE's ace in the hole here. Although they maybe have a slightly better turn in game in phase 2, so far it is completely the Merkava speed have really let them down in this one. And of course Hype, I feel like Hype has better swarming tactics here. They're very good at this. As you can see, it's got bait in the type into shooting him. Which leaves that Merkava completely exposed, though it means that Ascot can now help out Sebastian, they can kill off that 99A. I feel like Mencha, good shot there. And then Sebastian may be able to kill off this level 2A6, I'm not sure. Mencha does actually have the penetration to get rid of this guy. Let's see where he's aiming. Or not. As you can see, Hype is winning this place again. I feel like it might be simply because they have 99s and they can engage and react faster, whereas BPE's mixed tank lineup is actually not exactly that really good of a deal, to be honest. I feel like they should have either gone a full Merkava team or elsewise. Hype is far more willing to be able to bring up its members to support each other, such as this situation, whereas the Merkavas would have never really been able to. They're just too slow for their own good. Not to mention the engine boost. As you can see here, tracking shots to keep the Leopard in check, and now Hype has a AC-130 who should be able to put the hurt on the enemy team. And I think they might be able to spend 2 ready racks to bring that AC-130 down. At the moment, the AC-130 can't really fire on anyone at the moment. As you can see here, the tracking shots on Escobar, good play. And he's hopefully going to go for the other tracking shot on the back, or instead go straight to the back of the turret. Oh, the AC-130 is shooting people now, but at the moment he's actually more of a danger to his own team. As you can see here, he's thinking about it, and there we go, tracking shot, I think. Not sure. In replays or spectator mode such as this, the actual act of firing the gun isn't shown, whereas in third person it is, so things can be a little bit weird. But yeah, I think BPE's, not to mention I feel like this cap point here is a lot easier to defend than that one. This is originally a PvP map, so in all honesty, having it adapted for GLOPS I think was a mistake. Yeah, that's cock in there, what's he doing? Yeah, whoever gets the AC-130 has a really good shot at this map simply because they have something that can rain shots on people from below. And Hype has had to give up number 4 simply because they can't really get the numbers in, so instead it looks like they're going to concentrate on the refinery and hold it. Because all they need to do is basically to get half the capture points, and they should be fine. And of course they have those pillboxes in play now, which might actually team kill Hype's own types, which would actually be quite funny to see. See here, go for that leopard. Tracking shot. Nope. He's going to focus, let the leopard shoot him. So, Zubran, you can go. Inside tank is likely to kill that leopard. There we go. Very good flanking fire here. Yeah, and it's not even showing where they're aiming now, which is actually kind of shitty, because this would actually be a really good opportunity for me to be able to see how they play. I wish I've never actually been in an Armored Warfare team battle before, so this is coming from a solo PvP player experience. But the swarm tactics used by Hype here are very, very good. Look at that, they're basically completely dominating these guys, where it seems that BP is having to fight solo, Hype is instead fighting as a team. Very nice coordinated play here, and it looks like they are going to attempt to go for the 1830, which is... there it is. He's going to go for it. I think he was hoping to go for the refinery, not sure. But it doesn't matter who has it. Whether it's in like standard GLOPS tactics, like one player will go for it and the rest will ignore it. Instead, Hype is going to get this thing as fast as they can and immediately dunk it on the map. And I think inside tank in the Centaur 120 is going to go for the bomber as well. And it seems Hype has probably had to leave Sabrina to die here. I'm not, or maybe he's gone simply to go out the capture point. It's really hard to tell, but I think him going for the capture point has at least been able to distract these guys for a bit. Oh god, we know where that bomber's going, and it's going to land straight on that match. You see, Sabrina here is actually basically holding them in place, and it's very likely that the BPE doesn't know where that bomber is going. So instead, they think it's going for 7, but instead it's going to land right on that map. 3 kills. That has really taken the wind out of BPE's sails there. Now imagine Asaka is probably going to try and shoot that Merkava. As you can see here, the superior speed of the Type 99s allows them to, as we have said before, basically swarm the map and get into position really quickly. So I think either BPE should go full Merkavas on this one, simply so they have the ability to hold the types in place, or go for a full type squad as well. It's hard to tell at this point. Ouch, and taken out by that leopard. But at the very least, Hype does have the advantage on this map, and it'll be interesting to see what BPE has to say about this game. I think they might possibly agree with my conclusions, I'm not sure. Nobody really up to me, but at the very least, probably agree at least that the mixed MBT team hasn't really helped them at all. I mean, of course, having every single tank in the game does help, and of course you can't help it when some people just don't have all the tanks and they eventually don't have the ability to swap, so it does help being in the game for longer. Sebasta backing up, waiting for the rest of the types to go in. Zabroni over there, possibly being used as a distraction maybe. There we go, so he's singling out that leopard and he will likely be able to kill it. Right in the, I think it's in the lower plate down there. Let's see where he's aiming, so he's probably going for the turret ring. Maybe turret ring, no, lower plate. No, somebody else killed him. The fact that we don't really see where they fire can be a bit of a shitter, to be honest. And now we have 2 bomber spawns. So instead that Centauro might be sitting there to be able to get, yeah, he's sitting there to get shots on people. Look at this. 1. Reload. He's probably out of ready rack now. There we go. So his ready rack is empty, so he now has a 6-second reload between shells, which sounds like really fast for MBTs, but for tanks, but for glass cannons like this, it can be quite slow. If I was him, I would probably go for the bomber right now, but the ability to simply see where the enemy is and not fire is, as you can see, he's got information on where they're going, they know where they are, so he's probably going to go to that bomber spawn now. So Hype will probably have 2 bombers by the end of this, and they'll probably suicide bomb it, I'm not sure. Or they might just be okay with just 1 bomber. Kozarski, might give it down now. Yeah, I don't think they're going to bother with the bomber now. They're basically, this game is won by quite a bit by Hype standards. Yep, and they're just going to leave it there so that they can take out those two guys, but that bomber doesn't really matter anymore, and as you can see, go for the tracking shot on that leopard has really made a difference on this one. Going for the turret ring to take him out, and... So good play to Hype. BPE, I think they might have had some issues with everything. They may have had to cycle out some players and bring in additional ones. Not sure. But they did get heavily overpowered in that game. So let's see about the post-game stats. Let's have a look at the post-game stats. So... Jesus Christ, 130,000 damage. That is a lot of kills done. Those bombers and the AC-130 probably really helped out, and BPE was left trailing in the dusk there. Let's have a look at the lineup so far. So, pair of Type 99s and a Thunderbolt by BPE. Whether's Hype is still likely to go with the same lineup. I feel like Hype's lineup is still better, as they, you know, don't have... I feel like their lineup is still better, as they don't have the slow liability of the Merkavas. But maybe having those Merkavas will help BPE, as the Leopards they were taking last match were literally unable to fight the types, and they were unable to secure objectives on their own. So this is fight number 2, last round. Hype won pretty decisively. So let's see how this goes. They did. They done got themselves again. That's quite funny, Bork. Okay, let's see how this is going. So Hype has the north part of the map, and BPE has the south. So BPE has the more defensible positions, such as that side, which I think is like possibly the most defensible part of the game, really. But Hype should be able to at least swarm the refinery, get down to there, and then of course if they cover their lower plates, they should be really protected. I'm not sure why they went with the Thunderbolt though. He doesn't have the raw alpha damage. Well, he has better alpha damage than the Centaur does. Better penetration, but he doesn't have the DPS ready rack burst. So taking the Thunderbolt may be a mistake. See here, 2 types going for it, and then a Merkava flanking. They may be able to help out. I'm not sure, but Hype is probably gonna do north attack and go down. I mean, it's a shame we can't click on tanks by simply clicking on them, as it would make figuring out who is substantially better. Didn't get a hit on that Merkava. See, both their Merkavas are going down now, and probably learn he's about to drown, which is not exactly a good thing. Escobar getting really screwed up by Sebasta there. Really nice camera thing, by the way. I actually want that pretty badly. So might have been a mistake there, just saying. Hype is actually losing that part of the map pretty badly, but they still have a hold to these objectives, so as long as they can keep BPE in a stranglehold, they should be able to do this pretty well. Also, I need to message someone to see how many games we've got to cover after this. Because I don't think I can actually do this for another 3 hours. Searching for the weak point right in the turret ring. Actually, a surprisingly difficult shot to pull out. I've never really managed to kill types like that. Most of the time it basically comes to hitting the turret roof, but that turret ring is really difficult to kill. I think Escobar is likely to get heavily pinned down now. I think going in on his own was a mistake, and I think BPE is outmatched in this battle by quite a bit. While they were heavily able to pounce on Yin and presumably the Panzerjäger battalion as well, median height has probably been a rude awakening that there's always a bigger fish. I mean, I think overall as a PvP clan, Sorry is better than Hype, but I think Hype is probably the better global operations clan. And as you can see here, I don't think that Thunderbolt helped at all in the end. They might have been better off with another MBT, or maybe simply using a Centaur 120 like Hype has done, or maybe even a Draco. But as you can see, it's not going well. Hype. I mean, BPE does have the chance to be able to pull this off, but now with an AC-130 line in the air, they need to cap this bomber, and they need to cap it fast. And of course, putting himself down there. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go, and they're likely to put that bomber either on 4 or 5. I would actually put it on 5 and let it clear out the types for them, or maybe do it for 4. I'm not sure. I can't make decisions like this, so it's up to these guys really. Or maybe they might be using that bomber for something else, and maybe wait to save it. Here they're going to clear out that type. Beige Blood is probably going to go for Sebastian, maybe. Can they do it? No, Sebastian's going to... Ooh, ouch. Ooh. Of course, Beige Blood is probably going to go for that type over there. The low hit point vehicles. But of course, inside tank always at the ready. And being able to shoot these guys. I don't think that bomber was very well placed. He's only going to defeat one type of guys. But then again, it's very likely that that bomber was about to be expired. Ooh, can he? Yeah. Ooh, almost. Fucking shit. That looked like it hurt. But yeah, I think BP is very heavily outmatched in this one. Although it is a 50-50 for the cap points, So Hype is using a, well, they're all using Type 99s. This ring does need a nerf, by the way. Armor nerf to the lower plate and maybe a speed nerf as well. So it isn't the fastest and most well armored tank of Turn 9. As you can see here, it is a ridiculously deadly vehicle. It's either this or the Merkava usually. And I feel like BPE would have been better with either a full type or full Merkava lineup. Instead, he's going to go for the Merc, side armor. Nope, lower plate. There we go. Escobar over there is getting pounded, and then they're likely to swarm this Type 99 next. I bet BPE wishes they had a bomber. I bet they wish they do. I sure would. See here, that guy, even the frontal armor of the Type 99 is still weak. Well, the side is. And, well, you can only really have so much armor. He's wiggling there trying to get shots off. They have a Merkava coming up. Let's see how, who is it? Heisman. Let's see how Heisman goes. So he's climbing up, really regretting how goddamn slow that tank is. Hoping to try and make it. And while BPE is fighting like lions, Hype has the wolf pack going, and being swarmed is not going to help, and Hype is likely to take another AC-130. BPE is going to be able to take those pillboxes though, but I'm not sure where they're going to put them. The pillboxes usually go on the outskirts of the map, but at least they might be able to at least do some good damage versus those types. Are you going to be able to? Nope. And I feel like this Merc has just sacrificed himself here to do some damage. I would go for Sylvester actually. Maybe get a tracking shot on him. No. No. Oh, there you go, that's a good kill. That's a good hit. Come on. He's still got a very big chunk of hit points, so you should be able to weather fire for a while. Foxtrot is having a lot of fun with this Sebastian's type. Ooh, might be able to punch through. And you see he's having some issues with the types plate as usual. Heavily damaged here, and he's basically dead at this point. Come on, don't expose your side armor like that. Oh, damn it, Escobar. Rubel might be able to kill off the Centauro. No, go for the type. Okay. Line of pillboxes over there. Let's see how this Merc is doing. Nope. Let's see how the Merc is doing. No, the Merc is dead. Okay. Let's see how Karsky is doing. Zabrino is probably just going to end up sacrificing himself so we can get into the battle with a full tank. Hype does seem to have a better grasp of the wildcards, and at least more wildcards, because they're all appearing on their side, and well, BP is the one that's losing. Why would you give the winning team all the stuff? Dunno. Nakova managed to kill Askoi, but at least Askoi is going to be able to go back into the battle with a full hit points tank. Sabronic down there as well. How's that Thunderbolt doing? I haven't really seen much of what this guy's been doing this game. The question is, where is this bomber going? Is it just going to make it sacrifice himself? And power for number 3 players. Jesus. And that's pretty much ended this game, really. It is now 2-0 in Hype's favor. They'll probably fight another match, really. But I'm gonna poke somebody about this whole scenario. Am I the only streamer? Okay, there's literally 2 streamers doing this, I think.
User joined your
Hello,
channel.
Spitfire. Hello,
Hi.
Spitfire's audience.
Hi, how are you?
My head is ringing. My stomach is turning. I'm quite angry, quite pissed.
What's up?
Oh, well, you know, the same problem as always. People sign up for a tournament, don't read the rules, don't read that they have to be in the TeamSpeak. At least the team captains have to be in TeamSpeak.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, we had to prepare everything in advance, also for you as streamers and also for us to organize. And for example, we had one group where nobody attended at all. So, you know, if you look into the challenge thing,
Mm-hmm.
there was one group. There was nobody in there at all. Oh no, it was one clan was in there. Valerishka, One Love. And all the other 3s didn't show up. And you know, that's... yeah.
Is that what delayed the tournament? Being able to... having to wait on people and then figuring out they weren't coming and then having to juggle everybody around and make...
Yeah,
groups?
then we also had something that people they took in their spare player, and the spare player hasn't prepared his game, so he had to download the last patch or hotfix. So can you imagine how happy I am? Then
Not very?
yes, then are you still in stream?
Yes.
Oh, then I mind my language. Then some of the nice Russian CMs
You're allowed to swear. Trust me, I say cunt all the time.
who published the announcement of the tournament didn't even translated the rules of the tournament. So I had, in a haste, trying to explain the rules to the Russians. Also, there were 1 or 2 Russian clans who didn't even know that we are playing Global Ops, or as they call it in Russian, Collision. They thought we are playing PvP.
So I'm on the final game in Pipe versus BPE.
Yes, and how does it look?
Hype has won 2 out of 3 games, and BPE is heavily on the back foot here. BPE is really screwing up their team composition. How many?
Okay.
I think Hype has probably taken a Merc and a 90ms instead of 4 types. But after this, how many more games?
That's the final one for today.
Okay, when's the next tournament then?
Next weekend, next
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay,
It's the finals.
because I'm ready to drop here. I've actually been preparing since 3 o'clock.
Yes, sorry for that, but I, you know, after 2 weeks of now ill sleep, because I'm very, you know, it's positive stress for me. As you know, I like to organize stuff, and normally things play out as I organize them. But this today was a total disaster in my eyes. Because if you think of so many clans not showing up for a tournament we really planned hard on, and we even had last Saturday we got the news that we have to allow the Russians to play within tournament, or Because it was planned otherwise, you know?
It was planned as an EU NA.
Yes. But then we only need to speak English. But today we need... I have an old friend, Yermak. You see him in the channel below there. So a shout out to him. Thank you very much. He was like... He's an old friend I played Arma with years ago. And he today even changed his military service appointment for today. He here to translate. Because I couldn't get even a Russian-speaking CM for us as translators. And they were like, yeah, the most of our team speak basic English.
So, how many streamers do you have doing this?
Perhaps the same as today.
I mean, I only see one other streamer in the streaming section.
Yeah, I think Zuberg has left now, because no Russian team is playing any longer.
So we have Hype as a mixed team, so the same as BPE, and they may have.
But unfortunately, he didn't even came here to say hello. He's there. I just saw him after that.
That's okay. So Hype's gone with a pretty mixed team now, the same as BPE, and I imagine they've both either come to a gentleman's arrangement, or they may have just decided to maybe go easy on BPE. Because BPE's been fighting with mixed teams now and Type now, and Hype will as well. They might have done this just to see how difficult it can be, because this win is in the bag for them no matter what. So, this is the last game of today's tournament. Hype versus BPE, and it is...
Oh, by the way, yes, there is another streamer, Primer, is in Group G at the moment. He's not in his cabin.
Oh, right, okay.
And by the way, Spitfire, I have to thank you very much that you stepped in here. And it's very appreciated from the decod.
It's alright, I ended up reading from my homework book for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for the delay, but normally people know what we are doing, what they should do. But they read the rules, and the Russians were pointing out questions that nobody understood. Because, you know, normally you know that when you have read the rules.
So we have both the Type 99s go up to position 2, as they're the fastest, and so they probably have the best idea to go down there, while their 19S and Merkava being the slower and the less armor tank in this case are instead going to sit at 2 and hold it down. So Hype will likely clear out this bit and then join forces down to 2, but I'm aware BPE is probably aware of this fact, so they'll probably try and see if they can hang on this for as long as possible. But Hype is winning this fight because they're starting to get BPE Centaur 120 down, and Hype's 120 is done by a very good player who's going to probably claim this Merc's clock. Okay, he is. I'm actually going to record all of these. Well, this is so I'll have 3 recordings. Each recording will be 45 minutes long, which will be grouped into 3 videos. So 3 of 3. There'll be 45 minutes.
Oh, that's great.
And then I'll publish these on probably tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday. So at least I have content ready for next week. Yay! Or I might publish them all on one day each. I'm not sure.
That's cool.
But yeah, Hype has pretty much cleaned the top part of the map, and now they're all moving up to...
How much minutes they have got left?
There is 12 minutes.
Okay, then in 12 minutes it's all over.
Well,
by the way, did you... Yeah, go on.
Hype is basically... They've basically won this. They already have 2 wins out of 3 games. So this is likely just so they can get another free game. I'm actually annoyed because I didn't know that the Caucus Crate skin existed, and now I have no idea where to get one. And I won a black skin pretty badly.
Oh yeah. So, by the way, for you viewers, I hope you all will watch the Festival of Remembrance tomorrow.
I will probably be asleep.
Well, you know, for me as a German, it sounds a little bit crazy, but without the Brits, without the Russians, the Americans...
Rather we not...
Yep, good idea.
Get into this.
I'm a little bit tired right now,
it's okay.
That's why.
I'm pretty tired as well. So BPE is having to fall back. I imagine they probably want to go for the pillboxes, but Hypes and Merc at 90 ms to keep them
User
in place.
left your channel.
But of course, Hype does have that very low hit point type 99, so he's probably just going to see if he can suicide and get a new tank. Hype did manage to kill that Merc 90 ms, but I think it took a little bit too long for it to happen. And BPE may be able to get that the AC-130, because now for once Hype has actually lost most of its tanks. But they will be spawning in quickly, so Hype is very likely to going to try and intercept them. But now the cap points has changed, but Hype is still about almost 700 points ahead of BPE. So this should go probably the same way as everyone, but I predict this will probably be a much closer fit game. Because once that AC-130 is in play, it will start harassing Hype's tanks. And they'll either have to deal with it or simply suck up to the damage. Oh, and I'm almost out of water. 19 mass is gonna go. So this is 19 mass. He's probably gonna go up here. Concentrate on the leopards first. I don't think taking the leopards was a good idea for BPE. The leopards never really been good tanks in PvP or GLOPS, in all honesty. The Leopard 2 Evo and the Revo are probably the only two good leopards in the game. The Leopard 2 AX is a really nice gun, but its hull armor sucks. The same for the Leopard 2A6, for the 2A5, for the Leopard 2, and also for Leopard 1A5 for the Leopard 1. So taking them into GLOPS like this, basically a tank which has to be hull down, is never a particularly good idea because it simply doesn't have the flexibility of the type or the sheer bunker power of the Merkava. So we pretty much split between the cap circle, that pillbox. I'm not sure why it's down there. It's actually closer for Hype to reach as it's simply a straightforward march from the road, whereas BPE would have to cut through rough terrain. When Sebastian gets this Centaur 120, oh, he's probably kicking himself for that one right now. You can do it. You can get it. Okay, he's got it. Sebastian may be in a slightly exposed position there. If I was that Leopard, I would definitely be going for him right now. Let's see from Bergol's point of view. Okay, so far they've actually forgotten about that T90 MS for now. The question is... Okay, so his lower plate is kind of there, but it also isn't, so it can be slightly difficult to pan. That's probably why they didn't go for it. Zabroni is capping the pillboxes. No, sorry, he's capping point 4. So now both cap points are under Hype's control. And of course next week we've got this tournament to stream as well, so it'll be probably another 9 matches or so, I think. Maybe not. Don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of players didn't come. Some Russians and some otherwise, so we've had some non-shows. And I will be publishing BPE versus Din versus Hype, and Hype versus BPE. Each recording will be 45 minutes long, so it will simply be all the matches scratched into each other, and then they'll be released one day after the other, so presumably Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Hype's bomber is in a difficult place right now. As you can see here, that type blocking them in, and then they can get them into different points. They can cut off that Merkava, and the 2A6, and the Merkava. So that's a very good kill there. Strategic use of bombers as well as trapping people in place was what BPE was previously doing to Din, and presumably what Hype has been did to Paziega, which I wasn't able to cover because, well, 2 games going on at the same time. Can't really do that. Friendly little boop there. What are we going to do now? So now the pillboxes are on BPE's side. Let's have a look at hypes. Just realised I had a volume control on my keyboard. Wow. So let's see what Inside Tank is going to go here. This guy has had a great game the entire way around, in all honesty. So he's going to start going for this lineup here, or at least he's going to be able to distract them. Remember, in these kind of battles, distracting your enemy can be as much good as killing them. As we've seen before with the feints by BPE on Din, Hype's usage of the Centaur 120 here, and the solo player run has actually really worked well for them. See here, Centaur 120 going for each other means that it's simply a high power gun that isn't in the fight and can be used for something else, well, relating to MBTs anyway. And as you can see here, Inside Tank is having a whale of a game here. However, he's emptied his ready rack and he now has a 6-second reload. Sebasta is sneaking along. He's going to keep that truck in between them and force them to waste a shot. But right now, I would imagine getting a kill on that Leopard, or maybe the Centaur 120 is going to go for Leopard, I'm not sure. No. Leopard's alive. And goes straight for that lower plate and done. Once again, they've cleared off this map. That Merc will probably be dead very soon. Let's have a look at Foxtrot. What's he doing? As usual, taking out the Type 99 is a real bitch, to be honest. That's Greek here. I have no idea how to pronounce any of their names, by the way. They've got that cap zone under control, and they might move into the bomber at some point. I'm not sure. But Inside Tank has been alive for quite a while now. I'm surprised they haven't really dispatched anyone to deal with him. Even their own Centaur could probably kill him at this point. A single heat shell or a single AP shell will really be able to take care of him. And they know where he is at this point, really. And he's simply biding his time and waiting until he can strike out of the shadows and go straight for them. Slightly missed there. Don't know a hit. I can't really. The damage numbers are really hard to pick out sometimes simply because of well, you know, I'll laugh if he dies from falling damage. No, he isn't. And Hype has another bomber, so we're probably going to see another repeat, or maybe yeah. See, they're going to use it to disrupt that firing line. See that TNT mess currently really trying to back out of the way. Is he The thing is that he was actually projected to be safe on the minimap, and that is actually a problem with the bombers, in my opinion, is that the minimap wise. See Hype getting rid of that Leopard 2A6 over there. You get one guy to smash into his face, and one guy to do otherwise. I've never actually really been on a team like this. Doubt anybody will let me in anyway, but I think I did do this quite a lot with Arcane Below. And this kind of play will really allow you to dominate people. If they can't be one step ahead of you, you can just basically wipe the floor with them, which is what Hype has done. I do think that not having a Type 99s has really screwed with BPE this game, and in all honesty, Hype have basically been better players in this one. But BPE did do a good showing, and they definitely did a pretty good game. So, congratulations to everyone involved. We have had Hype versus BPE. Hype having won all 3 games in a row, doing a little bit more damage, well, a little bit less damage this time. And that's it for the tournament, guys. Thanks for coming, everyone, and I will see you all next week, and hopefully at a designated time at this point, Ruru. And hopefully we won't have any issues with relating to waiting. So take care, guys. I'll see you all Wednesday. Normal hangout stream, Friday PvP, and on Thursday maybe I'll stream Valkyrie Chronicles or something. And of course, next week we got the next part of the tourney. So take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.